The Edge Convention Center in South Sea, Nairobi, we are attending a seminar which has been organized by the Board of Registration of Architects and Quantity Surveyors. We are here to see how the industry is shaping up the sector and how these experts and professionals are, adding capacity to their skills in everyday life. The issue of the built-up environment, if I can say that. Here with me, I'm not alone. I have with me some experts just to give us a feel of what this seminar is all about. Remember, we attended this seminar 3 months ago, and at that time we were talking about technology and integrating technology with how these professionals use in building our built-up environment, which includes every auxiliary item that is around our buildings and the likes. So let me bring in an expert in this, and maybe they'll begin by introducing themselves and just talking to us about what this seminar is about, and we will move on from there. Welcome to the program, and tell us, what is this seminar about after introduce yourself.
Thank you very much. My name is Architect Patrick Mugo Karugo, and I am the leader of training at the Board of Registration of Architects and Quantity Surveyors. We are here today on one training among the two we usually hold, and the theme of our seminar today is building a competitive and sustainable practice for our professionals who are architects and quantity surveyors. We have three themes in this training, and one is harnessing what is in the profession. Then we also have synthesizing them on the branding aspects, and finally how they would use technology to harness the practice. The growth of the training by the board has been continuous, and this is anchored in the acts. We need to train our professionals all the time. And if I can give a short highlight, for the last 3 or so years, we have looked at matters of transformation, then we have looked at the matters of empowerment. And here we are today looking at matters of competitiveness and sustainability. We have a team of trainers who are taking us from short mentorship courses, and then we are trying to get linkages within the region. We have the African Trade Act, which is empowered, and we have over 58 countries which have ascended to it. How can our professional anchor themselves into it? We run that. At the end of the day, we also need to build brand on ourselves. So we have presentation whereby you have experts on branding, personal branding, and farm branding. How does it work? And the board ensures that there is proper training on that. The board goes to extra strengths, extra depths of getting very experienced presenters so that our architects and our professionals are well equipped. After that, we have also what we call case studies. Learning by experience is always the best way to move forward. And we will see one of our own practices formed locally by our own architects, our own surveyor, and leaders in the same thing. They will do the presentation. We also have our moral support. A good firm is one that the partners, the directors, the staff have their health, have their emotional strength, and are well rounded up. Again, we will go into all that. The board does not just restrict itself to training that are locally. It also conducts what we call international CPDs, and like this year, there was a visit to the Europe, and next year there will be another visit. So we will also get highlights so that you are prepared. You are when you have the prior information, you also are well prepared. So basically, that is what we are expecting in this training, and it will be quite beneficial for all of us. Thank you very much.
Indeed, allow me to ask just a few questions, if I may. What are some of these contentious issues you have seen that maybe you find professionals in architecture and quantity surveying really need to be addressed in such a seminar?
Thank you very much. If I may refer to our training this session, it's about trade. One of the issues is how is the region opening up for us? We have a mutual recognition agreement, which is basically an East African document. Again, in the same document, not all countries have acceded to it. The challenge is we also need the government to come in and educate and also open the doors for us. The board may be doing its part, but we need a bigger body to help us so that the challenge of getting jobs locally, we can look for jobs even outside. Again, we have a challenge on the sense that we are trained as professional architects. What else can we do? I can be a manufacturer, I can be an educator, like myself, a university lecturer. I can also go into other businesses. Again, those challenges will be handled in this training. Thank you.
But even as we talk about these challenges, I'm assuming that Kenya is not too far off with the best in the world. Where are we in terms of professionalism in this sector?
First of all, thank you very much. Regionally, Kenya is way ahead in terms of professionalism. Going back, if I can recall, countries like Uganda, Tanzania, Burundi, Rwanda have borrowed a lot from the instruments we have when it comes to moving the professionals. We have a pool of very knowledgeable professionals. If I may look also at data, architects and quantity surveyors in this region are beyond actually 3,000. And that's a very big number when we look at what we need per person, per capita in terms of what you do. So we just need a situation whereby we are allowed to move out, we are allowed to give our practice regionally. Thank you.
Thank you very much for speaking to us, and we do appreciate your time. So O'Brien, lucky for us as well, even as we've learned what the seminar is about, you've heard about the role of the government and what can the government do to uplift the sector, bring up architects and quantity surveyors. Lucky for us, we do have someone who's representing the government, and he will introduce himself and tell us exactly what policy making from the government side is doing to this sector to make sure that professionalism is at a high and that our built-up environment is much better today than yesterday. Karibu sana, maybe introduce yourself and tell us about policy making in this sector.
Okay, thank you. My name is Architect David Waitito, Chief Architect in the State Department for Public Works, which is within the Ministry of Lands, Public Works, Housing and Urban Development. Being the Chief Architect, we are involved in the policy preparations for the State Department. And I can say that for the profession, we are working hard to ensure that our professionals are up to date and we can fit within the market, both in the locally and even across outside the country. And we're starting at the training level because what is happening is that there's a lot of training going on right now. And right from the college, the TVETs, they are doing some training even for the technicians. And so then also for the diploma and the national polytechnics and the universities. And at the State Department, we are involved in mentoring them. We have what we call attachments for those who are ongoing with the ongoing training. It's a 3-month session. And we have really been taking quite a number of students who are ongoing the training. And they are based at our regional offices and even at the national level headquarters. For those ones who have completed, we are also taking them on board at what we call the internship program, headed by the Public Service Commission. That is a 1-year internship program. And then we also engage those ones who are employed as new professionals in the State Department. And those ones, we place them at the experienced professionals so that they can learn and get to understand the profession without really having to struggle a lot. So there is a lot that we are doing there. And on the other, that is on the training part. And even going forward, we are still planning on how we will be engaging with the training institutions. What we realized that some years back, we only had one university that was producing architects. And but now we have 5 of them, national of the public universities. And so in terms of numbers, we already have quite a good number. And so that means that even when there is need for export of the services, we'll be having the professionals available. In terms of the practice at the State Department, the ministry spearheaded the review or the enactment of what we call the National Building Code, which is actually now the document that is guiding the profession and the construction sector. And what is happening is that previously, the one that was repealed was developed in 1968. So you can imagine all those years we had not updated our building code. So now we have a code that our professionals are using, and that one, even in terms of the codes and standards we are using now, what are the British, and that is also being used in the training institutions. So that by the time now, even we are joining the practice, people already understand, like now, the British codes and international codes, so that they are able to fit, not just within the country, even out of the country. So then we're also developing other areas, the green building standards, which is actually dealing with the climate change, which is a key area. And so we are preparing our professionals and even attending this CPD, because even our officers at the national government or at the ministry are here also to learn. So they're also getting this experience, they're also getting these skills, so that they are ready for the market out there. So, and we've seen a lot of positive impact. There's a lot that is happening with officers, and they can easily fit. Some of them are actually working out of the country, and we have mentored them, and we are proud of what they are doing out there. Yes, thank you.
All right, you've spoken a lot about the training and the professionals, the young professionals that are coming through the pipeline. Perhaps do you have any numbers to tell our viewers about how many are in the pipeline? Are we able to absorb all these young professionals in the various sectors that we are talking about?
I may not have the actual numbers with me, but what I know is that in terms of from the State Department, we engage up to 200 to 300 on an annual basis in terms of the attachment and the internship. And so those are the ones who come to us. But what is happening is that the government may not be able to absorb them. But what we are doing is to equip them with the skills so that they are able to fit within the market, whether they're private or even in the government, locally and externally. So in terms of what we are doing most is to equip them with the skills. Yeah.
And you've also spoken about this new age technology that is used in the built-up environment. You're talking about alternative building solutions. How fast is the government absorbing these new technologies and advising policy-wise the sector to conform with this new type of building?
Well, there is a lot that is happening, and like I've just mentioned with the building code. So what you realize is that we're no longer stuck with the very traditional masonry walling. We are adopting the new technologies which has come, and actually it is being embraced in the government. So, and it starts with the professionals. Once they now adopt it, and we specify it when we are preparing our documents, it is also being used in the material. So it's something that the government has really picked up. And you can see even for government buildings, it's not just the traditional stone and mortar, but a lot of new technology is being used in the construction. Yes.
Indeed. Thank you very much for speaking to us. As you can see, O'Brien, we are learning a lot in this conference. We are learning about technology. We are learning about training of the young ones in the pipeline coming through, professionals who are the architects and quantity surveyors. We are up to standard. We are apparently still the best in the region, and we continue to have visitors coming to benchmark with us as we churn out professionals in this sector.